What's up, homies and homiettes? It's your boy Hoom Boom back with another segment of the Hold Up Show. And hold up, is Biden about to be null and void? Today we're going to be reviewing a clip from a content creator, Patriots for America 84, as he gives some breaking news allegedly. Let's get into it. Hold up.
Breaking news, everybody. This is huge. The Ninth Circuit judge, who is a very, very liberal judge, and the Ninth Circuit is a very, very liberal circuit court, has just ruled that 84 of Biden's pre-pardons are null and void, stating that there is no precedence for pre-pardons and no precedent for pardoning somebody that has not been convicted or has committed a crime. This is huge, everybody. So all of the pre-pardons that Biden has given has now been ruled null and void by the Ninth Circuit Court Judge Brown, who again is extremely liberal. This is just a huge win for MAGA and for the American people.
So there you have it. Patriots for America 84 giving an update, but you and I have the same thoughts, right? Why are we not hearing about any of this on the news? Why is this just from a TikTok post or other TikTok posts or social media posts from average Americans or patriots or people that like to stay in the know on the political side, right? So I did a little digging, and of course, all the fact checker sites pop up and say all of this is false, right? But we all, or most of us, who aren't, 3 or 4 years old, but all of us have lived through 2020, right? And we seen what went on during that campaign with the mail-in ballots, with the pandemic, with all the restrictions, with the mask wearing and the 6 feet and all that, right? And we seen a lot of social media videos, posts, things of that nature, documentaries made about the overwhelming evidence of fraud allegedly during that election, right? All stemming from the mail-in ballots, right? We've seen the videos of the ballot herders and people putting in stacks of votes in these boxes, unmonitored, unregulated, and all that type of stuff, right? And we all had our suspicions that there's no way in the world that this known racist, who has a very extensive history with many other prolific racists, heads of Ku Klux Klan chapters, called certain youths in certain areas super predators, help with the Clinton crime bill, help with other bills to further lock up more people of color or minority. So when he decided, or when whoever powers that be decided to stick him next to former President Barry Santoro, right? Barack Obama, everyone was scratching their heads that Obama would be paired up with this known racist, lifelong politician, been in office 40 years, all that, right? So we didn't hear much from him, and when we did hear from him, it was some pretty idiotic statements and behaviors displayed by him. if he wasn't asleep or nodding off, right? But then when Trump came into office, when they were expecting Hillary to do it, right? They couldn't run it back with Hillary because of what happened in the first campaign with her running for president, with the emails, with the alleged news circulating of this alleged snuff video with her and allegedly Uma Abdi, who was her assistant, and all this stuff about allegedly her and Uma Abdi in this relationship and all that, right? We already know about a lot about Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Clinton Foundation, and all that nefarious, shady dealings, lying, corruption, their past from Little Rock, Arkansas, up until the point they made it into a large political arena when Bill got tapped to run for president, right? All very shady, all very like, what's going on there? You know. So she was so damaged that she couldn't run again against them. They couldn't run it back with her. They felt as though she was no good. Only thing she could do was help campaign for Joe, right? And I just should have let everybody in America know the state of the Democratic Party, that they had to turn to Joe Biden to run on their behalf, right? Like, they just didn't have any other viable candidate that could have ran instead of Joe Biden, right? So then they're off and running, and they're bashing Trump. Everything's Trump's fault, and look what he's doing, and he's killing grandma, and he's doing this, and he's whatever, right? He's messing up DC, and we're going to right the ship, and we're going to turn the page. And all of a sudden, he just became America's favorite grandpa, you know? Oh, we gotta get the bad man out of here. Yeah. Look, I got a black woman with me. She's on my side. You know, we've seen enough of these faces, as you see from the thumbnail, and other bewildered faces, and him soiling his pants allegedly, falling asleep, all that, right? So then when it went down and they were counting the votes, and it was like, hold up. You mean to tell me this man got 84 million votes, the most votes ever for a president in an election, or ever for a candidate in a presidential election? And right next to them, his opponent got 73 million, which would have been the new highest voting that a candidate could have gotten in the presidency. The numbers didn't add up. They did not make sense. There was no way that I ever believed that 84 million people voted for Joe Biden, right? Even though the anti-Trump energy was at its highest around that time, because people were so frustrated and beat down with everything going on between George Floyd, police shootings, the pandemic, restricted, people dying, people sick, and then with the jab stuff and side effects and injuries and all of that, right? People were looking for someone to blame. And of course, the man who was in charge when it all went down was the first target, because he was already not super beloved because of the media onslaught from the time that he came down the escalator announcing he was running for president, right? So we start going through the motions there. We seen the inauguration. It was like an inauguration that never happened before. The military everywhere, people separated, no one looks happy, no saluting, no proper uniforms, no nothing. It was almost like DC's funeral, right? It looked like a funeral. And then they rolled the other idiot out there with him, comma. And it was like, whew, oh man, are we in trouble? It is no hope, because if this fool gets senile or dies, and then we got to deal with her, and she doesn't know a lick of anything, and just was a filler to try to get the black women vote, because they were the most active voters in the black community. You know, they would come out in numbers. So yeah, it was just all very strange. And then we actually started to get into his mumbling of during his presidency, his walking away without answering questions, the stuff with his son, the stuff with him, we hear of all the backdoor, you want to sit down and have a word with my father, pay 10 million, give me a job, all that, all that, right? Allegedly, right? But we've seen enough to know that it's real, right? Laptop from hell, all that, right? While also opening the borders and just giving money to Ukraine left and right, giving money to Israel, just not explaining it, all this crap, right? The whole time we heard now second-term president Donald Trump and other conservatives and Republicans and just people with good comments like, yo, like, investigate, do something, probe into this. And anytime anyone said anything to that nature, they got investigated. They ended up being harassed. You were shadow banned and censored, and I lost so many social media friends, and then people were saying they can't see my posts, but I don't know if they were just saying they couldn't see my posts or they were trying to avoid my posts altogether. Like, it was cool. I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Inflation started rising. They're complaining about eggs, complaining about bread, complaining about milk. You know what I mean? Gas through the roof. All this stuff, right? But there was always these rumblings that his presidency is illegitimate. Is he even in the White House? Is that actually Joe Biden? They were putting up side by side pictures. Oh, he just got older. Like, the common sense in me, if he was already 70 something years old when he got next to Obama, you're not going to change much in your features. You're already 70 something. So don't tell me he got older and all of a sudden looks like a completely different person. And then we're not even going to get into the video when he rolled out with his wife, Dr. Jill, that one time, and he looking like Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain then walked out. Like, when did Biden get this tall? Why are her heels so extra high to try to keep it to the same level of all the other, you know what I mean? Then we seen all the other videos of, it looked like he was wearing a mask and, all this stuff, right? So we always heard the rumblings that this is some illegitimate, fake stuff going on. He's not in charge. The wife's running the meetings. The crackhead son is in the meetings. Obama somewhere shadowing over everything, calling the shots, making the maneuvers. It was a mess. Right? All the way up into this recent campaign that he tried to do that he had to drop out of because his whole party and the powers that be that was controlling him, his handlers and everybody, mushed him out the way, right? And then all of a sudden, he's like, he's start wearing MAGA hats and he's smiling and we see little conversations, lip readers between him and Obama, saying that she Kamala backstabbed me and I could have beat him and blah, 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 right? Now I'm sane and I can say full sentences and all this stuff, right? But even then, there were still rumblings that the Supreme Court would be looking over a particular Brunson case, right? That was what was floating around, right? And we were all waiting for this decision to be made on the Brunson case about election interference or whatever what the specifics are with that the Supreme Court and Clarence Thomas was going to review and take it on and possibly overturn all of this, right? And as these digital patriots and Q followers and all of this were waiting patiently but frustrated. You know, some of us had to walk away from the movement just for our mental health at the time, because it was like we know what's going on, but no one's doing anything about it, and stuff's getting worse. We're frustrated. We're paying more for less than we were before, right? So then we get close to the end of his powers. Trump wins the election, everything. Everyone's in a panic. DC's in a panic. Everybody, right? Because they know he's coming. Because they know what they did to him. We might not know all the intricacies, but we seen probably his billionaire, relaxed lifestyle turned upside down since becoming president, and even after that, right? So we seen Biden with his last slither of power before it got the transfer begun. He pardoned 84 suspicious people, right? Now, not all 84 pardons were suspicious, to say the least. I mean, some of like the people that he pardoned out of jail, like some of them, I believe, were in good faith or had, good intentions. But then the other ones, like the Fauci's and his whole immediate family, and people who weren't even charged with a crime or had committed a crime, he was preemptively pardoning them for the future. The J6 committee, all that, right? Now we get to this video that we just seen from Patriots for America 84 about the circuit court overturning that, saying that he were operating outside of his constitutional powers and all of that, right? But even though that's been sort of debunked as false, we don't really know. There is still an air of we are waiting for the other shoe to drop on the Biden regime. All of them. The son, the immediate family, the brothers and all them. Everyone he was in cahoots with and colluded with the Ukraine Burisma stuff, the paybacks from his son to the big guy and all of that, right? And let's not even forget that this man and his brother owned an island right next to Epstein's island, right? Not promoted, not talked about, but very much an actual factual thing, right? And we also know, actually and factually, that they maneuvered around through these islands through submarine transportation. There was a submarine type of service or setup between the islands. So you got to think, you got the Richard Braun, who's the Virgin president, creepy dude, right? Then you got Biden's. The Bidens had an island. Then you had Oprah, supposedly has an island over there. Then you got Jeffrey Epstein's island. And then you just got like the Caribbean and probably some other people who have islands as well. I'm not completely sure where the Nexium island was at, but you get where I'm going with this. And they were able to maneuver people in and off these islands through these submarine underwater type of services, not to be seen. Also for like celebrities that didn't want to be known to be coming or would be on the island, all that stuff, right? So we are literally waiting for the other shoe to drop on this Biden regime connected to the Obama regime, connected to the Clinton regime, connected to the Bush regime, all tied in a very intricate web of corruption, abuse, and fraud, among the things that I can say, right? There's more, right? There's more nefarious things connected to them, especially with the Clinton Foundation, Haiti, and all that, and the alleged, death of what's my man from Fast and Furious? Gosh, give me 1 second. Paul Walker, right? Paul Walker went and did some work with the Clinton Foundation through his foundation and everything out in Haiti. He was a very humanitarian type of person, always looking to help. And allegedly, he was supposedly seen some things he didn't like over there in Haiti going on with the Clinton Foundation and was ready to talk. And then the next thing you know, his car goes into a tree, right? This all alleged stuff, but it's been out there, right? So, are we waiting for that other shoe to drop? Is there something in the background going on with the Supreme Court that they are not ready to release because of public outcry, or potential public outcry, or potential public uprising? But why would we uprise for Biden? He was the worst president we ever had in history. Why would we uprise for Clinton, Bush? And we know what the Bushes were involved in with 9/11 and other things, all the way back to the father, Poppy, with the poppy fields, right? So I want to know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Do you think that the other shoe is just about to drop on the Biden regime and everything that he was involved in, executive orders he signed, actions he did, will all be null and void and wiped from history? Do you believe that this is possible? Will Trump or the government or the Supreme Court or whoever has judicial or executive powers to do something about this, or to reveal to the public exactly what's going on? Do you believe that this will happen? I want to know. It's your boy Homebone, and this is another segment of the Hold Up Show. Peace.